Alright friends, I just got here. I'm here at my favorite toy store, or one of them anyways, RideNow Powersports in Austin, Texas. The Suzuki demo truck is here. Maybe you can see it kind of behind me there. But I'm going to try my best to fit in a few bikes. On my list of wants is the Hayabusa. I think everyone has to try a Hayabusa at some point in time in your life. The Suzuki the GSX 8R. That's a new bike for them, I think last year that came out, and that's kind of a entry-level sport bike, kind of. I don't know what to call it, but it looks like a sport bike. It's a little bit more upright seating position, so I'm gonna check that out, hopefully. And what else? Oh, and the one, I think it's called the S1000GT Plus, which is their sport touring bike. So that's going to be something similar to my bike, as close as you can get. So those are the three on the wish list. Hopefully I get all three, and that's it. So let's go mosey on over to that demo truck and see what's going on. See you in a bit. This is a new bike for Suzuki as of this year, I believe, the GSX 8TT. There's also I think just a T, or I can't remember what it is, but it doesn't have the little cowl there, a little fairing on the front. That's an 800 as well, parallel twin, looks like. That's kind of retro, cafe racer looking-ish. It's got the bar ends, bar end mirrors, pretty cool. I didn't open my eyes. Right behind the 8TT is the 8T. And so as you can see, this doesn't have the little windscreen, like the little cowl thing there on the front. So there's his brother, the 8TT. Interesting looking bikes. This one does not have the lower fairing, so that doesn't look all that great in my opinion. Come over here to the TT. It gets this little lower fairing, which makes it kind of ties it up. It would have been nice if they just had closed that gap, though. It's still a sharp looking bike. First bike I'm going to ride is this one right here, I believe. They have two of them, so they're the same. So it's either this one or the other one. But Hayabusa, I think everyone's got to ride one of these at some point in their life, right? Okay, here we are in the cockpit. I'll make sure my helmet doesn't hit the camera. This is a very lean forward, aggressive position, so I don't know how much of the road you'll be able to see. Let me start this up. The legs are very tucked up. Check the mirrors. Because of the ergonomics on this bike, I am tucked up really tight. I'm 5'8", 30-inch inseam, and I'm getting full-blown chest blast. So the screen here in front of me, it just shoots the wind right into my chest. Quick shifter is quite nice, very smooth. And there's the guy is explaining to me, the Suzuki representative, there's on the mode, there's A, B, and C. A is the most aggressive in terms of direct throttle response. B is a little bit less, C is a little bit less. And as you go down from A, B to C, you get more intervention too. The traction control kicks in more, a lot more electronic intervention as you go from A to C.
C. A, there's, I think it's traction control is like the least. It's like 1 or something out of 10. And C is a 10. I'm in B right now just to feel, so I'm in the middle. So it's kind of a halfway between. Let's see, where's the turn signal? There we go. And you can do these on the fly. You can change the modes on the fly. You just have to let go of the throttle. And the quick shifter is very smooth. And most of my test videos when I'm doing an inline 4 or parallel twin or something like that, I'm always, you know, saying, wow, the quick shifter is so lovely. And this is because I'm coming off a Boxer. And the Boxer is just so clunky. So this is quite smooth. This does not have auto signal turn off, so I just forgot to turn off my signal. Ergonomics, sport bike, totally. I mean, I'm kind of sitting on top of and in front of the bike at the same time. I'm pretty comfortable. I've got some weight on my wrist a little bit. I'm squeezing with my legs to help mitigate that. I know this bike has a lot of power, which we're not going to be able to see today. This red line's at 11,000, so it is a higher revving bike. This has Brembo brakes on it, so they're, I don't normally get a chance to stomp on them. I'm the last in line here of the test riders, with the exception of the gentleman on my 6 o'clock that is our safety officer. So I don't want to slam on the brakes and have him hit me. So I am going 85 miles an hour right now, and I don't feel it. I don't feel like I'm going 85. And they only let you test ride this if you have more than 3 years of licensed, motorcycle licensed experience, which is totally understandable. You don't want someone that's like a new rider on this bike and, you know, whiskey the throttle and go flying. Okay, so I don't feel too crunched up now. I'm getting used to it. The problem with me is I'm a little bit older, so my hips, I think most older riders, if you're watching this, you'll understand that. Pulling your legs up a little bit too quick up onto the pegs can cause my hip flexor muscle to kind of spasm and be like, ow. So it sucks getting old, guys. All right, so I'm in B, so I'm gonna hit the mode. Let's see, let's go to A. A is full throttle, full everything. I don't know if you can see that. Power is 1, traction control is 1. So this is supposed to give direct kind of throttle response. So if you're doing wheelies or burnouts or whatever, this is where you want to be. Yep, whoa. That's a big difference. Yeah, this definitely wants to rip your arms out. Just a little tiny, not even 10% of the throttle, and this thing takes off. The gentleman was telling me a 10% throttle twist on this is the equivalent of, you know, like a 30% or more twist on the other, like on the C mode. But he did say that A, B, and C at the high end, so if you've got the throttle all open, you're going to have the same amount of power at the high end. So it's not like it's going to go top end any faster in any of those. It's just going to deliver the power a little bit more quickly on the A setting. So like off the line, this thing just wants to just bolt. I felt that big time, very big difference. A lot of these bikes that have modes, if they have multiple, like 4 modes, then, you know, they start to blend into each other and you really don't feel the difference between those 2 middle modes sometimes. Wow, it's a little bit hot. But this one from B to A, I definitely noticed a big difference there. And the Suzuki guy said, start off in B, just so you kind of get the feel for it, and then I definitely want you to flick it to A along the ride somewhere to get the feeling. And with that in mind, let's even go to C. Okay, we're in C mode now. Let's see what the difference is. Oh, there's a lot of restriction there. It really holds the throttle back. Yeah, I mean, you still can crack on it, but there's a hesitation there. You can feel that the bike is being limited with the delivery of its power, big time. So I will say that these 3 ride modes, A, B, and C, are probably amongst the most dynamic sensation in terms of feeling. There is a very distinct difference between each one out of any bike I've ever ridden. And I don't know if this is, you know, true for all the Suzukis, but very big difference. See, just around that corner I had the throttle open a little bit and it's just kind of sleepy. Just kind of let you, excuse me, burp, sorry. Just kind of let you, like, here's the power, just a little bit, okay, here's more. Where A is like, you know, here it is. It's just like jumping off a cliff. You're like, boom, your acceleration instantly. Like I said, the brakes are, I mean, they're Brembo, so they're adequate. They've stopped me every time I've wanted to stop, so I don't really have the ability to do a kind of a faster emergency stop test on it, but they've been good. And the mirrors are fine. Let me see. Get this one needs to be turned in a little bit. Yeah, that's better. All right, let's get this back in B mode. B mode is cool. I think that's a good mix. And the quick shifter is very nice. My legs fit on this tank perfectly. I don't believe so. Yeah, so there's no tank grips, so tank grips would be nice on here. And this is definitely not a bike that I would want to ride for more than you know, an hour and a half or so. I mean, when you're rolling, it's okay, but highway, take this on the highway, it would, the wind pressure on my chest was quite a bit on this, so that would be a little bit tiring. Okay, here we are, all done. Suspension was good. I didn't feel any really big bad bumps that jarred me. There are a few lumpy lumps out there, but the streets around here for the most part are decent. All right, well, that's it. That was fun. Signals off. Okay, so we are. This is the GSX AR.
There is also an 8S, which is right in front of me here, and that does not have a fairing. It's a naked bike. So let's get on this guy. Okay. So the riding position on this one is already way different than the Hayabusa. This has got a much higher seat. I'm flat footing it at 8 feet tall. Wow. 5 feet 8 inches with a 30-inch inseam. I have my feet on the ground. Hayabusa, I had a little bend in my knee, so I was totally flat footing that one as well. Ergonomics for feet and hands are more upright. This is kind of a pseudo in-between sport bike. Let's get this in neutral. Get it started. Okay. So I believe this is a parallel twin. Let me get the mirrors locked in for me. So I'm going to start this off again. This has the Suzuki SDMS, which controls the modes. I'm going to put it in, there's A, B, and C. I'm putting it in the B mode with traction control set at 1, and then I'll just keep traction control at 1, and I'll go through the different ride modes as we go along. So I'm starting off here in B. So just sitting here with my feet on the ground, hands on the bars, no pressure on my wrist, like the Hayabusa or like GSX-R, the guy over here to my right on that blue one. You're leaning forward much more so, as expected. So I'm going to be looking at this bike for new riders, commuting, and then also having fun on it. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right, that picks up. That's nice. And this is in B. Quick shifter is nice and smooth, but I am getting chest wind. Smash right under my chest. No helmet. Helmet is nice and smooth. No buffeting, which is nice. This has got quick shifter up and down. So far, very smooth. I believe this has Nissan brakes, so decent brakes. We'll test those out here in a minute. The riding position on this is very much more upright. Just a tiny little bit of a sporty feeling with my legs, but not really too much. Okay, dash is nice and clear. This TFT, really good colors. I'm in the sunshine here, and it feels good. Looks good. So let's put this in C mode. So this is the kind of restricted mode. So I've got this traction control in 1, SDMS setting at C. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit more restricted. Let's see if this is like the Hayabusa, where it's easy to really feel it. I don't have a chance to accelerate yet. Okay, yeah, I can feel that it's being held back here a little bit. So this ergonomic position on this bike, and the fact that it has these really very distinct ride modes, this C setting I think would be good for a new rider. If a new rider wanted a bigger CC engine, this is Suzuki's 800 line, so this is not a small engine, but it's also not Hayabusa power, which is like I think it's like a 1340 cc. Yeah, so there's definitely a hesitation there when you hit the throttle, which is fine.
So if you're a new rider, the only thing I would say is if you're a new rider and you're short, maybe you'd want to go with a smaller bike. But the ergonomics on this are forgiving if you're 5'6" and up. So let's go ahead and put this on A. Whoops. There we go. A. Okay, so I'm on A, so this is supposed to be direct throttle access. But for me, this bike is quite light. It's easy. It's much easier to, even though I'm higher, the seat's higher, it's more manageable for me just to kind of move it around. So like city riding or daily commuter, I think this would be fine. And so far, we don't have twisties here, unfortunately, right where we are, because this is all city riding. But I think this would probably be fun in the twisties too. Set on A, you know, full access, and you just have some fun. So I think you can start off on this bike a little slower in C mode, and kind of work your way up. Because if you get a bike that's really small and really kind of the power is way down for a new rider, within 6 months you're going to be kind of bored, and you're going to be looking to get like, well, now I need to get a 600 or an 800 or, you know, something a little bit more powerful. Yep, A is a big difference. I can feel it. It definitely gives you more full access to the throttle. Again, suspension is fine. I don't know, it's hard to really give a good measurement of that here, because you can see the road here is quite smooth for the most part. But just, there we go. Yeah, that picked me up and got me going. So this is a new bike, I think from last year. I think this model came out for Suzuki, and it's been one of their big sellers. It looks good. So far it's performing good, and I can see why. It hits that middle market of kind of maybe beginner rider, or someone that's already good at, you know, experienced, but doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money and get a huge bike, and still wants a bike that they can feel comfortable with in the city. And just from the position of the camera, I think you could probably tell this is a much more upright bike. You probably can see a lot more of the environment in front of us than on the Hayabusa, which I think was probably a lot more dashboard. This red line's at 10,000. So you can definitely rev this out a little bit. And this probably would sound very nice with a aftermarket exhaust if you wanted it to, you know, to be a little noisier and sound and have a kind of a sport bike flavor. Oh, open this up. This is a little hot. Mirrors are good. Have really good visibility. They're better visibility than the Hayabusa. Yeah, I like the power in this, especially in A. I mean, it's got some urgency. I'm 210 pounds, so I'm not light. So if you're 150 pounds, 160 pounds, power to weight ratio will go up a little bit for you. And the mirrors are not vibrating at all, so I can clearly see the bikes behind me. And this feels very flickable and light. Like I said before, it just feels easy for me to move it around. Okay, so I'm hitting some bumps there. Yeah, it's decent, not too bad. A little bit of vibration in the handlebars when you're in the lower gear. Like right now I'm in 3rd gear, but I should be in 4th, so I'm revving the engine out a little bit so I can feel that feedback in the handlebars, a little bit of vibration. But when I'm cruising and I've got it in, you know, 5th or something back there on that straightaway, don't really feel much in the way of vibration too much. But this bike, the way, again, the ergonomics are very friendly. I think even for new riders, it's just not like the Hayabusa or a GSX-R, where if you don't have experience, it's gonna feel a little bit overwhelming in terms of how the bike operates at slow speeds. When you come up to a stop or parking lot, turn radius on the bikes and the way they maneuver is not the best. So you definitely have to have some experience. It's just when you sit on it and it feels like your legs are just a little bit tucked back, but you feel like you're on a bicycle. You know, you just feel like, okay, this is nice. Quick shifter is smooth. I think the Hayabusa was smoother, but comparing this to my Boxer engine, this is very smooth. Yeah, I'm very comfortable on this bike. I don't really feel any wrist pain or anything like that. The only thing is let's see. Yeah, they fit in. I think my knees, the tank feels a little too low. Like it feels like if the tank was a little higher up, my legs would fit better. But tank grips would be good to put on this because my knees are hitting the tank. All right, well, I'm giving this a thumbs up especially for new riders or someone who wants a fun bike that's, you know, already experienced, but they just don't want to spend a bunch of money and they want a nice fun bike that can do suburbs, city, and some twisties. Got a nice TFT again. You see the handlebars here are not, they're not down here like the clip-ons, so they're in a decent position. And the brakes have been good, no complaints there. Yep, stops. Okay, home sweet home. All right. Well, that was good. It's a good bike.
So we're on lunch break here at RideNow Powersports doing the Suzuki demo day. And for my BMW fans, I just came in to check out the BMWs, the sea of BMWs. They've got a really good stock here of all the BMW bikes. There on the end is a couple of M1000 XRs. There's an MRR. Got all these white ones here. Got a 12, what is this, a 12 GS. This one right here. It's pretty cool. And then this is my buddy Robert's bike. So if you haven't seen that video, I think it was just like one video before this one, or two maybe, I'm not sure. My buddy bought this M1000R, and this is his twin, so someone should come pick this up. And there's another, there's another M1000 XR. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then here's the M1000R, double R, I'm sorry. This thing has just got carbon fiber all over it. Look at it all down here. The whole tank. It's a nice looking bike I will ride. This is the GSX S1000GT. This is their sport touring bike. So this is going to be similar to my R1250 RS, just not as big an engine, but it's I would assume it's an inline 4. It looks, the ergonomics look very similar to mine. Let me try this out and see what it's like. Yeah, pretty good looking bike. Okay, I just got on this bike. This is the S1000GT. I'm flat footing it, and the reason I'm test riding this today is this one is out of the Suzuki lineup is closest to my bike, the BMW R1250 RS. Let's get this started. Okay, so I've got it in B. Let me get my helmet secured here.
So the ergonomics on this one feel very similar to my bike. I'd say the TFT is a little bit lower. I have to look down at it. It's got an auxiliary plug here, and the bars are not as far forward as my RS. My RS is a little bit more sporty with the kind of pseudo clip-ons that I have. But the weight, moving it around, feels about the same as my bike, or similar. It's probably a little lighter. Okay, let's go. Quick shifter. Oh, very smooth. Okay, so this has got a lot of wind on it. This windscreen is just shooting the wind right into my chest. So I don't feel very much protection from that. There's no head buffeting. On my bike, I do not feel any chest wind. Like, this almost feels like a naked bike, for Christ's sakes. But I like, out of all the bikes I've ridden so far, a lot of bumps here. Took the bumps very nicely. Suspension is good, better than the other bikes I rode so far. And it's a sport touring bike, so it should have a better suspension in it for those longer rides. But what I was saying earlier, out of all the bikes I've ridden so far, I think I like the power delivery on this one the best. It's much stronger than that 8R, and not as scary crazy as the Hayabusa, but it definitely has a nice feel to it, and you know, you can really get on it. So back when we take a couple rights here, we'll get on that back straightaway there hopefully, and we'll maybe be able to try it out a little bit. There a little bit. That was fun. So ergonomics on this, very comfortable. I could see myself riding this for quite a while. I wish on this one it was similar to the 8R. It just feels like the tank is a little too low. Like if it was a little higher and had a little bit of better grooves in the side of the tank, my legs would fit in there nicer. But I would just put some tank grips on this for sure. Mirrors are good. I have a good view behind me. No major vibrations. Yeah, this has some very nice pickup, and definitely fits the bill as a sport tourer. It's got that sporty kind of ergonomics, and the power there of a 1000cc sport bike, but it also has the ability to put bags on it. I noticed when I got on this, there was some kind of rack system that you could put bags on here. And again, the quick shifter up and down. I'm downshifting, very nice. No fuss, no muss on that. Yeah, it's got some nice pickup, my friends. I like this. It's very nice. So this would be very similar to the Kawasaki 1000SX, I think it's called, which is Kawasaki Sport Tourer, and my R1250 RS. The only difference is my RS is has a lot more torque than this, so it's a different feeling riding it. Whereas this is more like a sport bike. This red line is at about 12,000 it looks like. So this is definitely a sport bike kind of situation. You got to wind it out to get it to, you know, kind of really pick up on you. It does so quite quickly though. Yeah, this windscreen is kind of crap though. I think people that buy this probably would get like a windshield extender to kind of throw the wind off to the sides. It's got these cutouts in the side here, if you can see these, which allows the wind to kind of wrap around and hit me right in the chest. So I don't know why they did that. Of course, on a really hot day, that would feel comfortable, but I typically don't want to feel wind banging me in the chest on a bike that's a touring bike that has a full fairing. Seating position on this is very similar to that 8R. It's, your legs are just tucked back just a tiny bit, enough to feel like, oh yeah, I'm kind of sporty. A little bit further back than mid pegs, and the handlebars are a little bit more upright. Okay, let's get this into. Okay, that's A mode. So I had it in B, which is the kind of mid-range mode, kind of the road mode. Now I put it in A just to see the difference. And again, on these Suzukis, these modes are very distinct from each other, A, B, and C. I think they did a really good job with that. So now this A is kind of like full access to the throttle immediately. Okay, hard braking a little bit here. Okay. That got me slowed down. Good brakes, check. And this bike would sound very good with a slip-on, because I can already hear it even with the stock exhaust. I think you can hear that. A lot of vibration in the seat when you're using engine braking to slow you down. It transfers into the seat and really vibrates the twigs and berries. Yeah, I think for this bike, anyone looking for a sport tourer would be happy with this, I'm assuming. And these are my opinions, but plenty of power, great quick shifter, ergonomics decent, suspension good, bags you can put on it. I think the bags actually come with it. I'm not sure about that, but in the pictures I've seen of this, I always saw it with bags, so it might come with the bags. Yeah, this wants to jump. So yeah, again, Redline 12,000, we didn't even get close to doing that. So if you want to take this on a nice fun country road and test out that engine and get closer to those red lines, I'm sure this thing would be very fun, especially with that smooth quick shifter. Yeah, and I think from the position of the camera, probably have a very similar view of the surrounding areas as that 8R did. Let's get home and check out the footage of that Hayabusa. I'm just a little concerned with that because I was so lean forward on that thing. I think my only complaint about this bike is this fairing, the way the windshield, how it let the wind hit me in the chest on the, you know, higher speed. And then also the way this fairing here is designed. I'll show you in a minute when I stop. Turn it off. So what I'm talking about is this area here, how it's just flat. I don't know, it just gives me a weird vibe, like a scooter vibe or something. I don't know, just this whole flat area here looks kind of strange. All right, other than that, fun bike. Fun bike, lots of power. Lots of power. From this angle, it's stylish, looks good. I just don't like these flat panels here. They just look kind of weird when you get in the cockpit and you look down on it. It just doesn't scream sport bike. It screams scooter to me for some reason. But that's it. Good times. All right, friends. Well, that's it for today. Heading back to my trusty steed here. Get on my bike and head home. That was a fun day. I got my wish, as you saw. Hopefully, I got all 3 bikes in. That was amazing. And I think the one thing that I really enjoyed or learned about the Suzuki is the ride modes A, B, and C. Very distinct differences on all those. That's something you normally don't feel too much on other bikes. You can feel a little bit like in a rain mode, but when you're comparing, like on this bike, I have road mode, dynamic pro. I can't feel a whole lot of difference between dynamic and road. I can feel a difference between dynamic and rain, and even then it's not a huge difference. That Hayabusa was just like night and day. Very big difference in the power output with just a tiny crack of the throttle, and that thing was like wanted to take off without me. But that was cool. Glad I got to do it. Thanks again to RideNow Powersports for hosting this event, and the Suzuki demo team. Thank you so much. It was great. And that's it. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. It helps me out a lot. Thumbs up. That's it, man. Ride safe, everyone. Safe journeys. Take care. See you next time. Later.